What's up guys, it's Tom here and welcome to a very interesting football video where we will talk about the FIFA, UEFA and Premier League investigation on Manchester City and what kind of punishment they could get. UEFA said that they could ban Manchester City from the Champions League for a season. Premier League has said that they could ban Manchester City from making transfers for the next 2 transfer windows. But I want to ask this question to you guys. What would be the appropriate punishment for Manchester City evading financial fair play rules and also the financial rules of the Premier League? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your opinion. I think just a fine wouldn't be sufficient enough. I think they either need to get points deducted or they could get, and I think they need to get a transfer ban. And in this video we will talk in detail about what Manchester City have done exactly and what kind of punishment they could get for their troubles. So guys, if you enjoy these types of videos, please leave a like. It really helps me out. It only takes a second for you guys to press that like button. And I wanted to talk about this after Birmingham City in the Championship got 9 points deducted because Birmingham City recorded losses of £48.8 million from 2015 to 2018. And that's nearly 10 million more than the maximum limit of 39 million. And they got 9 points deducted because of that. And Birmingham City are now just 5 points ahead of the relegation zone in the Championship. So they could realistically get relegated because of this. So if Birmingham City gets a 9-point deduction for exceeding their, the maximum limit by just 10 million, then what should Manchester City get? And of course there are different rules for Championship clubs and Premier League clubs, but the Premier League has financial fair play rules as well as the Champions League. The Football League's documents have proven that Manchester City have done a lot of very shady business, and they have proven that Manchester City alongside Paris Saint-Germain as well have systematically and illegally evaded financial fair play regulations with the direct help of both FIFA president Gianni Infantino and former French president Nicolas Sarkozy. So in 2014, Infantino emailed Khadoun Al-Mubarak, the Manchester City chairman, telling the billionaire, you can trust me, and that he would help City escape a harsh punishment for their failure to abide by financial fair play rules. And this is what gets me to the core, that actually UEFA helped Manchester City because they are a corrupt organization and FIFA helped them as well. So it's the whole system is rotten to the core, and I'm not sure that these rich clubs will get the proper punishment because the decision makers are also paid off. Well, most of them are paid off, and there has been loads of scandals in football regarding FIFA and the bribery. I mean, it's pretty obvious how these billionaires are using football to whitewash their image and just to get in the good books of a lot of people, because they are committing a lot of crimes against humanity. And the slave labor regarding the Qatari World Cup really sickens me to the core, and the way that Qatar bribed their way to getting a World Cup actually in a country that is way behind the football development and in a lot of other things. It's just very disappointing, and I think it's an interesting topic that we need to talk about. So Manchester City tried to trick financial fair play by setting up sponsorship deals from Abu Dhabi businesses, which actually equated to 84% of commercial income in 2014. They also hid £35 million worth of expenditure from financial fair play in their annual reports. Of course, with the Football League's stuff in the Der Spiegel newspaper, you can read about all of this in their detailed articles. So if you want to dig deeper, I can't really mention every single detail because that would take hours. Honestly, it's a very interesting investigative journalism that the Der Spiegel newspaper did, and they have a very good sources and very reliable sources. And also, what is very sick and troubling is when a member of the Financial Fair Play investigatory team actually passed away, a Manchester City lawyer, Simon Cliff, emailed the club ownership with a short message: 1 down, 6 to go. How sick is that? Like, honestly, when you celebrate someone dying like that, oh my goodness, that just blows my mind. And these emails were also leaked in those Der Spiegel articles and documents. What an absolutely disgusting situation. And of course, Manchester City and Guardiola are probably denying these allegations, but the evidence is very damning. And now, after those articles actually came out, UEFA, FIFA and the Premier League all opened investigations on the financial fair play breaches of the rules on this. And Manchester City also have another allegation against them, which is signing 8 players aged under 18 from overseas. And that was also released in one of the Football League's articles. And Manchester City could face a 1-year transfer ban at least from FIFA, because FIFA are investigating Manchester City on these allegations as well, that they are the second club after Chelsea to face detailed allegations of paying the families of youth players, which is completely illegal. You can't sign players under 18 for just footballing reasons from overseas countries and pay the relatives as well. That's very illegal to do. And Chelsea already got a 2 transfer window ban because of the same thing, but these Manchester City allegations run a lot deeper than that. So the financial fair play rules stipulate that a club's deficit in 2 seasons could only add up to a total of 45 million euros. And if you consider that in the past 10 years Manchester City spent 1.4 billion pounds on new players. Yes, you heard that right. That's 1,400 million pounds on new players. Just to put that into context, Liverpool in the past 20 years has spent 700 million pounds on players, which is still an incredible amount of money, but that's half the amount that Manchester City spent in twice as many years. And that just shows that Manchester City realistically couldn't have generated that much money from sponsorship deals and everything without, boosting the sponsorships. And there is, I think, definitely a conflict of interest, because Manchester City's main sponsor, Etihad, and the Etihad Airways is a company which is owned by the same family that owns Manchester City. So they can just pay any amount of money basically during that sponsorship deal, and that is not legal, that is not right. I think sponsorship deals need to have a certain value attributed to them, which reflects the commercial value that Manchester City provide with that company. And if you artificially boost up these sponsorships by like 80% or 70% and pay hundreds of millions of pounds over the years pumping into the club, I think that is wrong. And what happens when Manchester City owners get bored of Manchester City? They will just pull out, and then Manchester City will not be sustainable after they pulled out. And I think these rules were implemented to avoid situations where clubs go bankrupt, like Leeds United went bankrupt after they spent too much money and they borrowed too much money, they got into debt, and after their success dried up, after they failed to qualify to the Champions League, they went down, and since then they haven't recovered yet. They are in a good position to get promoted into the Premier League. So yeah, let me know, guys, what do you think about all these allegations against Manchester City, and what would be the proper punishment? I don't think Manchester City will get relegated because of this. I don't think they even will get a points deduction. Maybe the maximum that I can see is a transfer ban, because Manchester City just have too much money and they can get away with everything, and it has been a very, very disappointing whole story, because how is it a level playing field when other clubs are playing by the rules? The likes of Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, Manchester United even, they are playing by the rules, and Manchester City are not. And of course, even if they get a transfer ban, that won't really teach a lesson to their owners not to do this, because Manchester City already have an incredible squad. So the only proper punishment, in my opinion, that would signal a massive step in this whole scenario, in this whole case, to the owners and to everybody in the football world, would be points deduction and the transfer ban. But I don't think the Premier League would do a points deduction, because this is the best and most exciting title race that English football has seen, probably since Aguero won the title in the last minute of the last season, where Manchester City won their first Premier League title quite a lot of seasons ago. And I'm sure that the Premier League will drag out this investigation until after the season is finished, just not to interfere with the Premier League title race. And honestly, if Liverpool won the Premier League title only because Manchester City got points deductions, I wouldn't feel okay with that. I wouldn't feel right. I want to beat them on the pitch, but it's very, very hard not to feel disappointed and cheated when Manchester City can get away with basically no financial restrictions, and they are just breaking the rules. Everybody basically at this point knows it, who have read the financial fair play regulations, and also who have read the articles published by Der Spiegel and the Football League's articles. Everybody knows that Manchester City cheated and didn't follow the rules. But it's up to FIFA, UEFA, the Premier League to now conclude their investigation. What I think should happen is an independent accountant should work at every Premier League club and look over their books throughout the season, and just dig to the bottom of every single club's accounts and see what kind of sponsorship deals are doing, and are they fair market value or not. I think that would prevent this situation happening again. But let me know what do you think about this in the comments below, and I really hope that you enjoyed this informational video. I tried to include as much information as possible, also sharing my opinion, and you feel free to disagree with me in the comments, or just share your opinion about this in the comments below. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. See you later. Have a nice day. Goodbye.